Hello, Martin.
Hello.
I don't have too many questions. I did drive a bit more since last time we met. I slightly improved my lap time. Let me actually just real quickly share the screen. That's it. Okay, if you look at the sessions, yeah. So that's the one that we looked at, the 513. Um, I managed to break into 18.4 just barely, and then yeah, I couldn't really repeat it for a while, and then again did a 18.5, 18.4, 18.6. So I mean, yeah, I've put in a bunch of practice. I guess I'm able to repeat the lap times. Um, I'm not able to improve further, but I mean that's already a um, pretty good lap time. And in the practice, I don't know. I'm actually wondering if maybe I should try some different kind of practice. Um, I was wondering maybe at some point, like it just if I keep repeating the same lap times, or I'm finding it difficult to reach lap times that I previously achieved. Like, should I just keep practicing the same thing, same car, same track, or does it make sense to try something else? Because I feel that right now it's not about what I should be doing, it's more about what I should not be doing. When I lose time, it's I either get a little bit extra oversteer. Most typically, I get oversteer for some reason because I guess I try to carry more speed in the corners. Um, and that typically or is more likely to induce oversteer. So I know what I should not be doing, but doing the stuff that I should be doing is actually difficult. So what do you think?
Wow, that's really difficult to answer. I mean, what I could uh, see maybe as a opportunity to just do things that are slightly different is just practicing in different weather. Instead of doing
Mm-hmm.
time trials, just using
Mm-hmm.
um, practice servers that are,
Yeah,
I think in that series, usually dynamic weather,
they are. Yeah.
or setting up test sessions with varying weather conditions just to
Yeah.
sort of have a little bit of a change in
Yeah.
conditions, but not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily switch to a completely different car, which would require completely different driving styles.
Yeah.
But if that also isn't to your liking, maybe switching car
Mm-hmm.
might be an option.
No, I think actually that's a good idea. Different weather. First of all, it's good to gain experience driving different weather. And something that I actually noticed was it last week when I did race sessions in hotter weather, or maybe it was in Sonoma. I was actually not that much slower in the hotter weather. So I don't know. Maybe there's something about I still try to do the same thing. Um, Maybe I have a little bit less grip in the tires, and but doing the same thing, I'm still able to pull very similar lap times. So yeah, which you would expect to have slower lap times, and it wasn't the case. So maybe just different weather conditions with the same driving style allowed me to actually go a little bit faster relative to the weather.
Maybe, although to be fair, you always have to be somewhat cautious about hotter weather condition,
Uh huh.
as the temperature changes, also the skybox changes.
Mhm.
And if that changes, it could be that warmer weather, from ambient temperature at least,
Mhm.
results while having the same
Mm.
value as a cloud cover. So
Yeah.
let's say, as one example, 24 Celsius uh, and partly cloudy might actually be warmer than 25 and partly
Mhm.
cloudy if the skybox is slightly different. The
Yeah.
track temperature could be lower, so that is kind of hard to judge. But
I've looked at the track temperatures.
okay,
The most measured at the start finish line. So I guess Yeah, I was definitely looking at the track temperatures. So okay, so I think I'll try that, and maybe do you think test sessions or just I guess practice server, or maybe directly do races? I mean, when I started the coaching, it took me until Thursday, Friday to sort of reach my best lap time, and now I'm able to reach it earlier in the week. Should I try to race earlier in the week as well?
I guess so, yeah. I mean, once you're comfortable and feel confident that you can do races without sort of being at risk of throwing the car away on your own, or if you think your consistency and pace is
Mm-hmm.
okay-ish for a race, then
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah,
I'd recommend starting as early as you feel confident, really.
okay. Because with racing, I'm still gaining experience with how the car feels, handles in different conditions. I guess learning, I would still know what I'm what I shouldn't be doing. I would still be able to notice this, but then would maybe get more racing experience, which could be helpful as well. Essentially, I'm trying to figure out at this point if the yeah if this practice schedule is really the most efficient use of my time. If I actually don't find my lap times improving much, so and mixing it up with weather is one idea, and possibly or start doing races earlier as well.
I try both. Really, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
with racing early, you also sort of get the mix up with the weather conditions as the races are
Yeah,
dynamic. So
yeah.
that's basically
Mm-hmm.
two things that sort of change a little bit with only
Mm-hmm.
one sort of
Mm-hmm.
change practice behavior. So that's
Yeah,
probably a good thing as well.
yeah. And I guess like you've said, overall consistency in being able to repeat the faster lap times just requires more practice experience with the car. So yeah, uh, I mean I'm. If you remember, initially I was getting very frustrated when I can't hit my fastest lap time again. So I think I'm more calm now and just know that it will take time. So yeah, I'm having more fun uh, driving if I'm yeah don't set unrealistic expectations of myself.
Although the consistency looks really good, actually. I mean, just looking at the recent sessions, PB of 18.6, 18.4. Oh, can you open up the session
Yeah,
selection real quick? 18.6, 18.4, pretty much close to 5,
yeah.
18.5. That's really consistent already. So
I guess I
that's
hit
quite good.
the yeah. I guess I hit the lap times, but if we look at the average, well, this actually average fast average, it's 19.0. So I guess 4 tenths off. Um, it's not terrible, but um, I guess I know I should be within like a couple of tenths in my average lap time. So
Ideally, yes, but mistakes do happen. And if you're down to a couple tenths right now, 3 to 4 tenths,
mm-hmm.
then that's already really good. I mean, their average lap 18.8, that's
Yeah, yeah, that's
fairly
good.
close to
Yeah, yeah, that's
what
four
should be.
tenths. Yeah. Okay, I actually had one question about there is this blind turn. I'm not even sure if it's officially a turn. After turn two, um, there is this blind left-hander, and I think when I look at my laps, I actually always lose a little bit of speed there and a little bit of time. So I wanted to ask you about it. How do you essentially you make the turn with like very little steering lock changes, and I guess I turn more abruptly, so and I lose some speed as a result. It's sort of minor, but also in terms of time I lose a little bit extra time. So what's the trick there? Like you seem to be like really smooth, very gradual with the steering wheel.
Yeah, that's basically the trick already. You just need to sort of turn as little as possible and with as little fluctuation as possible. If you could open the track map, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
you might also see that the line probably is a little bit
Yeah.
smoother.
I guess I start from further on the outside. No, that's you. You start
That's
from
further on the
further.
inside where you
Yeah,
are
I start
for the
further on the
coming
inside. Yeah.
corner, and I'm
Yeah.
basically much further to the outside, and then yeah, just trying to open up the radius a good bit more.
Yeah.
Even though the radius is already fairly big. I mean, you're nowhere near the limit of the tire, I guess,
Yeah.
in
Mm-hmm.
that corner. But still, the less you turn, the more speed you can carry, and it usually offsets the extra distance you travel.
I I need to watch my replay, but I always think like I'm almost on the outside of the track. Or at least I think I stay fairly close to the outside, but apparently not, because that's what almost a meter difference, maybe more, 1.5 meters. Okay. Hmm. And then with this kind of blind corners, how do you know when you actually need to turn in? I mean, do you still have some sort of reference point? I think this is actually easier than the one later, like was it sector 4 or 5? I always keep missing it, or frequently keep missing it. It's this one.
Um, that, I don't really have any good reference point for that, to be honest. I think it mostly just comes down to experience,
Mm-hmm.
really, and sort of. I, I know I keep repeating that, just the general feel when to turn in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really use any special reference point there, to be honest.
Okay. I mean, I do look at the sign. There is a sign on the right hand side, but I guess I'm maybe not fully calibrated on when exactly where it needs to be for me to start turning in. But here as well, I'm not all the way on the outside. So, are you actually on the curb? Do you remember?
I don't exactly remember, but in the Skippy, usually I take the curb on the outside fairly heavily
Uh
prior
huh.
to a corner
So you
to
brake on
open
the
up a
curb?
radius. Although I would not recommend it for cars that sit lower on the
Mm-hmm.
in terms of ride height. In cars
Yeah.
like the MP430 or the Formula Renault, it can be dangerous if you
Yeah.
drive on the curb. So cars might get upset really badly.
Yeah. And you do brake on the curbs as well.
Depending on the curb,
Yeah. I think
sometimes
that's a
yes.
very flat curb. So,
Yeah, if it's a flat one, then you can do it. If it's one that is relatively rough,
mm-hmm.
I would not recommend doing it. But I
Okay.
think in Donington, most of the curbs are actually
Yeah.
relatively flat and don't really upset the grip too much.
Mm-hmm. This here. Yeah, so maybe you step on the curb a little bit here as well. I guess I shy away from the curbs. And I think it's very minor, but how much is it? Well, 20 centimeters. Do you remember this turn? If you touch the curb?
Which turn
That's
exactly is
um,
it?
this is this one.
This one, yeah.
Sector.
I don't think that I touched it on entry, but in the middle of the corner, definitely.
Yeah,
On an exit as well.
yeah.
That's one of the corners. I think I mentioned it on Wednesday already.
Uh huh.
That in that corner you can really cut the inside cup quite heavily, and you should also do so. It helps the car turn a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Cool. Um. Okay. So I guess the pattern is still the same. Where is it? Actually, here that's not the case. but everything here. Yeah, so I think the pattern is not carrying enough speed in through the mid-turn, which is what hurts my um, essentially my time by the end of the straight. So thinking of it sort of from more abstract perspective, anything else I can do to get faster in the mid-turn? Not looking at specific turns, but sort of generic.
Bah, that's an extremely tough thing to answer. I mean, generally, what happens most of the time for you, I think, is that you're slowing down for a little too long and sort of
Mm-hmm.
letting go of the brake a little bit late,
Mm-hmm.
most of the corners at
Mm-hmm.
least. Maybe there, just try to stop braking a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, I don't think there's really much to do in order to
Mm-hmm.
gain mid-corner speed.
Yeah.
You can try to be a bit smoother with the steering and try to use
Mm-hmm.
less steering lock in case you're overturning it.
Mm-hmm.
But usually your steering trace looks very similar to what I'm doing, so it's
Yeah.
not necessarily something that
Yeah, there's
is
it.
something that happens in
Yeah.
your traces. In that corner,
Mm-hmm.
you turn a little bit more, but
Yeah.
generally
Yeah.
it's pretty much okay.
Yeah. So if
Um,
I don't slow down enough, then most likely I'll get oversteer, right? Or not
yeah,
necessarily.
not necessarily, but in some corners, especially in this corner that you have selected right now,
Uh-huh.
definitely the car will
Yeah.
oversteer if you're too quick.
Yeah. So I guess I just need to. I do notice. I mean, I do notice that I do lose a bunch of time when I get even the slightest oversteer. Like I would lose like easily a couple of tenths. Um, what happens if we look at the averages? Oh no, it's not like I'm. But I guess the thing that this average does, it actually ignores the slowest laps. Some of the slowest, if you like, you completely run off track. Uh, let's see some of the slowest. What happened here? And this was actually good. Uh, I guess here I did carry a little bit more speed, but then I lost it, so it's not even that.
Yeah, I think in that case, it's more of a thing that happened with the braking.
Mm-hmm.
In that particular corner, you just it appears that you're too late on the brake, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you carry too much speed into the corner, then can't hit the line and have to wait probably
Mm-hmm.
much longer to get on throttle. That also seems to
Mm-hmm.
be the case here.
Yeah.
Takes you much longer to get to full
Yeah.
throttle.
That's actually a good idea. Let's look at the slow sectors and what I did wrong. Why did I lose time? Instead of looking at the fastest, maybe we should start looking at the slowest laps. Um, here, I guess just slow down too much. Yeah, I guess I just slowed down too much and I had quite a big difference in the entry speed. That's
Also, beginning
interesting.
of the sector also seems there seems to be quite a difference. I guess there's some difference in sector 3 already. I mean,
Yeah.
at the very beginning of the sector, it's already
Mm-hmm.
close to 7 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, I guess I went way wide.
Now you're lifting completely throttle at parts of that corner.
Oh, okay. So it just cut it differently. So that's the blind left-hander.
Yeah,
I
you're
didn't.
lifting there, whereas
Yeah.
I'm taking that flat completely.
Yeah, maybe I didn't set it up right. Well, what happened? Yeah, I'm lifting here. Where am I lifting? Maybe I just got distracted. I remember one of the laps I got distracted and yeah, looks like I'm going straight pretty much. Okay, let's see something else. Yes, I'm just
Too quick in the corner, and then
too quick in the corner.
takes you
Yes.
too long to get to power.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I wait. Yeah, I wait for the car to turn enough.
That's a tricky thing with the Skippy and also the MX-5. They are sort of momentum cars, and that slow in, fast out is somewhat compromised by the fact that
Mm-hmm.
if you're too slow in the middle of the corner, you can't make it. You're
Yeah.
just losing too much because the engine just doesn't
Mm-hmm.
provide the propulsion that
Mm-hmm.
other cars would provide. Yet at the same time, they still exhibit the same thing. If you are too quick in the corner,
Mm-hmm.
you're also going to lose. That's actually
Yeah.
something that's pretty complex with those cars. With
Yeah.
other cars, like I don't know, something that has 500 horsepower upwards,
Mm-hmm.
you probably wouldn't worry about
Yeah.
mid corner speed. It doesn't matter
Mm-hmm.
as long as the exit is okay. You don't lose
Mm-hmm.
too much time because slow mid corner will only cost you mid corner, and on corner exit and on the straight, power is sort of the limiting factor. And since that's the same on both cars, it's
Yeah.
no big deal.
Okay, maybe let's really quick look at one more lap. Let's look at this one. So maybe I should be spending more time looking at the slow laps instead of the fast ones, because that's the kind of things I need to get rid of. That's the things I shouldn't be doing.
Maybe, yeah. Although I would assume that you already, since you can do the fast laps, you already know what you shouldn't be doing. So I guess it's nice to sort of get reminded every now and
Mm-hmm.
then, take a look at the slow lap. Although I think the primary focus to sort of close the last couple of attempts should still be looking at the fast laps and
Mm-hmm.
seeing what's
Okay.
still different to the reference.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess if the delta is 3 kilometers per hour to minus 3 kilometers per hour, I guess I just overdoing the correction. If I want to slow down less, I really need to slow down just a tiny bit less. And I guess maybe just developing that finer feel for how little to change the inputs. Maybe that's what's missing.
Could very well be. I mean, I can imagine that it's really difficult to just change things based on that feedback in such a small scale.
Yeah.
I have the same issue usually that if I sort of try to consciously change something,
Mm-hmm.
it usually takes a really big swing,
Yeah.
and it's kind of hard to get that sorted out so that a small reduction in brake force is actually just a small reduction and not
Yeah.
minus 20% or so.
Right. Okay, and I guess like you and everybody else says, it's just track time, more track time, and I guess I'll develop that finer feel.
For sure, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I mean, that fine feeling and general, generally the things like you mentioned earlier with the turning point for that sort of blind corner. That's something I believe only time will teach you at some point.
Mm-hmm.
There's no magic also secret sauce that I have that I
Mm-hmm.
can sort
Mm-hmm.
of provide to you.
Yeah.
It's just experience after all.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'll see how next week goes as well. If I get some pretty good lap times early in the week, I'll go into dynamic weather earlier on, and I'll start doing races early. But yeah, I think these are good tips. I'll try to change my uh, schedule a little bit and practice so that I hopefully make more of the practice time. Okay, awesome. Thanks a lot, Martin. Have a great weekend, and talk to you soon.
Mhm. Thanks to you as well, and yeah, talk to you soon.
Thanks, bye.
Bye bye.